Joining us now, as promised, Senator Joseph Lieberman, independent Democrat of the great state of Connecticut. You know, Senator Joe, I don't know how you do this. Every time you come on, Kilmeade is not here.
I know.
Yeah, coincidence? I think not.
I mean, I realize that Kirsten Powers is not only brilliant, but also beautiful. Kilmeade only has one of those two qualities.
I know, he's a good guy, but I much prefer Kirsten.
Same here. And welcome back to the show, Senator. Were you surprised at hearing the tape that we just ran, which was General Petraeus? And to be honest, he corrected himself about an hour later, but his initial response was, I don't know if success in Iraq makes America safer.
I was stunned, and I think it was a kind of initial reaction, in some ways respectful to Senator John Warner, who was asking him, basically saying, I'm a soldier, I'm doing my duty, I'm focused on what they call the AOR, their area of responsibility. My area of responsibility is Iraq, so I'm going to do my best to win this thing. But it left us off, and I worried when I heard it that those who oppose what we're doing would use it. And in fact, I think he realized that, because at least twice as the hearing went on, he came back and spoke quite eloquently about the connection between what's happening in Iraq and America's national interest, national security, and our security here at home. But it was a moment, shows even a great general occasionally under cross-examination by the Senate doesn't say what I think he really fully believes, that we have a lot on the line there.
The fact that Petraeus said this, what was interesting is that all the left-wing groups jumped on it and then said, oh, see, this proves that, we shouldn't be fighting the war. But of course, they just got done tearing him apart, and saying that he was completely not believable and ran that despicable ad and were attacking his credibility. So how can they have it both ways?
Kirsten, it's a brilliant point, and it's particularly brilliant to me because I didn't think about it.
You can take it for your own, and you don't have to give her credit.
No, what a point, though, because they knocked that guy down. They say he's a liar. Basically, he's a great general. You could disagree with him, but one thing he's not, obviously, is a liar. And then he basically stumbles a bit in an answer to a question, and then they jump on it to prove their point. I thought it was outrageous. And look, I thought his testimony overall was strong. I think he's saying we're succeeding in a very tough situation. Obviously, he thinks it's worth it, or he wouldn't be fighting there. And this is not an automatic thing that he recommended, the 30,000 withdrawal. So why don't the opponents just say, great, this is a beginning. Yeah, we want more, but they're not going to. We're going to go through some wrestling here in the Senate in the next couple of weeks, which will, in my opinion, lead to nothing but a lot of sound and fury. Incidentally, I noticed that the next wave of criticism, first people say, the war is lost, this surge can't work. Then it works, and they say, okay, it worked, but the Iraqi politicians aren't doing what they're supposed to do, which we all agree. Today and last night I noticed they were saying, oh, okay, he recommended 30,000, but we all knew he would do that. And we're going back to where we were before the surge. But the fact is, we're not going back to where we were before the surge. We're going to a point where he feels that and facts say that we have reduced sectarian violence, that the Al-Qaeda's on the run, and that most important, the Iraqi military is ready to take on more of the responsibility, and that means that was not the case 6 or 7 months ago.
The flip side of what we were just talking about is, if it's working, why bring the troops back? Why not try to replicate this in other areas in Iraq?
Well, I think he thinks that he can. That's a really good and fair question. In other words, I think the key here is that we've created some stability. We've shown the Iraqis we're committed to them. We're not going to leave, so they're not getting hunkering down for a civil war. There's real evidence in Anbar province, which we all cite as the greatest success story, that the Sunni tribal leaders turned over to us once they were convinced that we were not going to run. We got a lot on the line, and Petraeus and Crocker testified to it. This is not just helping Iraqis build a democracy of their own. We're at war with Iran and Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and if we pull out, they win, and if they win, we lose badly.
Are we planning an air invasion of Iran?
The problem is people are listening to the show, Judge. It's just me and you.
Well, you called for military action before anybody did on either side of the aisle. Fox reported yesterday that the White House is drawing up serious plans for the execution of this sometime in the next 6 months without telling us any classified documents you've seen. Is Fox's report likely to be accurate?
Let me just say I hope so, and here's why I hope so. And then, I asked Crocker and Petraeus about this yesterday. There is no question that the Iranians are training Iraqi extremists and equipping them with sophisticated weapons. They're going back into Iraq, and they have killed hundreds of American soldiers, literally hundreds.
The Wall Street Journal today said that 70% of attacks in Iraq are backed by Iran.
That sounds reasonable to me. And we know they're training these people in Iran, and we know the bases they're at. So at some point, and look, Crocker said, I asked him yesterday, you met with the Iranian ambassador in Baghdad twice to try the diplomatic surge that a lot of people around here are calling for. Did it produce anything? Senator, I regret to say that it produced nothing. There's been no action. So, at some point, you just can't let another country train people to kill your soldiers. And that's why I say at some point, I hope we will let them know that we're not just going to express our anger about that. We're going to take military action.
Senator Joe Lieberman, independent, very independent Democrat of the great state of Connecticut. Thanks for joining us. You're always welcome here, whether Kilmeade's around or not.
Thank you, my friend. Listen, I want to review or urge people to read something this morning. There's a piece in the Wall Street Journal opinion page by Owen West, who's a Marine, now works at Goldman Sachs.
I saw it. It's dynamite.
It is unbelievable. It'll move you to tears. It'll make you angry, and then it'll really give you a tremendous sense of resolve and gratitude toward what he calls the military elite in our country.
There you go. You have your reading assignment, everyone.
Thanks,
Senator Joe, thanks very much.
Take care.
Building the fence along our border in their spare time. Brian and the Judge. On Fox News Talk. Fox News Talk.